Hello, everybody. Welcome to Football Heaven 24/7. This is episode 21, excuse me. I start this episode with massive congratulations for Nottingham Forest. They returned to the Premier League for the first time in 23 years. Steve Cooper did a fantastic job. The final wasn't too pretty, to be fair. They were up against Huddersfield Town, and they won 1-0 through an own goal through Colwill, an online signing from Chelsea. Yeah, a bit of a messy affair, but at the end of the day, the end result happened. I'm absolutely overjoyed. I might not sound it in my voice. My voice is a bit croaky after yesterday. Um, it will be great to see Forest playing against Liverpool, Manchester City, and all the big teams in the Premier League. Um, of course, there's going to be a lot of cynics out there saying that Forest are going to go down in the first season, but I really feel like they've got a great manager, and I think that he will do enough to keep them up. And I can see him doing great things at Forest. Obviously, great things would probably be like top half finishes in the future, but maybe not in the first season. But we'll see what happens. It's all down to recruitment. It's all down to whatever players he can bring in. But I'll focus a bit more on the Forest Huddersfield game in a minute. There was over 80,000 fans. There was 80,019 fans. About 45 to 50,000 of those were Forest fans who stayed right to the end. And on the panel on Sky Sports had the legend, obviously Stuart Pearce, Joby McAnuff, David Prutney was the presenter, who was also an ex-Forest player, and Heffler, who was a former Huddersfield player when they got promoted a number of years back, and also he played at Forest briefly. So yeah, it was a really good game. It was a really good end result, should I say? I wouldn't say it was a pretty game, but anyway, they got the job done and they're back in the Premier League. But I'll focus a little bit more in depth on that in a minute. But there was some other games going on. That was on Sunday, just gone on the 20, excuse me, 28th, I believe. No, today's the 29th of, on a Monday of May 2022. But the day before that, on the Saturday, 27th, there was the League Two playoff, and Mansfield were playing Port Vale. Mansfield had got through against Northampton over two legs, and Port Vale had just got through narrowly against Swindon over two legs. And on the day, Port Vale won easily 3-0. Believe it or not, ex-Forest player Nigel Clough was the manager for them, for Mansfield, and they didn't make it up. But the manager for Port Vale was Darrell Clarke. Now, he had a sad thing happen. He lost, I believe, his father through illness. So nice to see him and his team get up, after some sadness like that in his year. So also a former Bristol Rovers ex-manager who got Rovers promoted twice from the conference and then from League Two into League One a number of years back. So he's a proven manager at these levels, at the bottom two league levels. And good luck to Port Vale next season. Hopefully they can stay up, cement themselves as a League One team. That was great for them. Also, there were some crazy things that happened in the playoffs since I've last been on. Grimsby Town, although being a Scunny fan as well as Forester fan, not that happy about reporting this, but Grimsby Town, you've got to take your hat off to them. They came from behind in their eliminator game in the playoffs against Notts County to win 2-1 in extra time, and also they won 5-4 in extra time in the following game against Wrexham, who were a third place finish team in the playoffs. They beat them 5-4 after extra time with a last minute goal. So Grimsby have literally got through by the skin of their teeth in extra time, but that shows great character. Also in the other games, Chesterfield got through at Halifax 2-1, and then more recently yesterday, Chesterfield got through against Halifax, which meant that they were set up for a tie against third place Solihull Moors, and Solihull Moors ended up beating Chesterfield 3-1 yesterday. My friend went there, Graham. He said it was a great game. But that means ultimately that Solihull Moors will now play Grimsby Town in the National Conference playoff final for the right to go back up into League Two. along with Stockport County, who obviously won as champions of the league. Be interested to see what happens. I think Grimsby will bring about at least 40 odd thousand. It's being played at the London Stadium, which is West Ham's home ground, so not far from me. May possibly go, don't know yet. We'll have to see what the deal is. Obviously, I'll go in the Solihull Moors end. Being a Scully fan, if I was a Forest fan, I ain't gonna do that. Do you know what I mean? I ain't gonna betray my Scunthorpe by going in the Grimsby end. So, yeah. So we'll see what happens in that. It'll be interesting to see what happens in that final. If I'm gonna I'll do a prediction on that final actually, because it's being played on Sunday coming up. I believe it's the 4th of June. It's being played on the 5th of June. Sorry. I'm gonna say 2-2 in normal time. That'll go through to extra time. And I've just got this feeling that Grimsby's going to fluke it, and I think Grimsby will go back up again. I'm going to go for Grimsby on penalties, even though Solihull are probably the slight favourites in the game because they finished higher in the conference. But we'll see what happens anyway. Yeah, I'll go for Grimsby on penalties in that one, even though it pains me to say it. But I can't show bias because, I've got to try and be impartial, despite my Scunny connections. But anyway, yeah, Grimsby Town, my tip to get back into League Two, along with Stockport. Anyway, but we'll see what happens. There was obviously another massive game over the weekend. It was the conclusion, really, of the top league's ultimate competition, which is obviously the Champions League final. There was a massive crowd at that game. I think it was 76,000. So not actually as much as the Championship playoff final game, but that was at the Parc des Princes, the home of PSG, obviously in Paris, in France. Apparently, it was rumoured that 150,000 Liverpudlians went over there, even though their allocation was probably something like 35,000 or 40,000. Yeah, fair play to Liverpool fans for doing that, but it caused a lot of trouble outside the ground. Apparently, tear gas even was used by the by the French police. I've just got this thing. It's an unpopular opinion. Yeah, support your team, but I just get this feeling that there was some Liverpool fans that went over. Of course, they was happy to be there, but it's very, very dangerous and very, very hard for the police to be able to monitor and control that level of people, especially when only there was probably 120,000 or 110,000 Liverpool fans that didn't actually get to go in the game. My advice would normally be just stay at home, because you're just causing more trouble and disruption. Obviously, the majority of Liverpool fans are well behaved, but you're always going to get that idiot element that possibly do stuff. So anyway, that's my view on it all. But there we go. At the end of the day, Real Madrid won the final. It was a bit of a non-event, really, a bit like the Championship playoff final. It wasn't a great game to watch, I don't suppose. I was good in some ways, but Liverpool had a lot of chances in the first half. Courtois was definitely the man of the match. He kept Liverpool out on a number of occasions, but even though Liverpool had a number of chances, I just didn't get a feeling that they were going to ever score in that game. And once the cross was put in for Real Madrid and Vinicius Junior got on the end of it in the 59th minute, it was pretty much game over. And in my opinion, and Real Madrid, although they rode their luck and Liverpool had the chances and really should have scored had it have not been for Courtois, I just feel that Real Madrid, justice was done in the end. Real Madrid won it, and that was 1-0 to them. They've obviously won the league and the Champions League double, which I believe they've only done a few times. That's the 14th time that Real Madrid have won the Champions League now, as opposed to Liverpool 6 times. Liverpool still hold the record in England for the most European Cups won or Champions League Cups won. Obviously not too far behind in my beloved Forest with 2 from 79 and 80. Will it ever happen again? Please, Steve Cooper, can it happen? No, it's probably not likely, but we'll see what happens. If Steve Cooper ever did get Forest into that position, he'd be getting on similar levels as Brian Clough. Dare I say it? It's sacrilege, but but we'll have to see what happens. He's done a fantastic job. He can't be faulted. It's been a great season for Forest to go back up there. I put a number of things on my Facebook because I just thought that I was just absolutely delighted by it all. I think Steve Cooper's got the right balance. He's got the balance between of how you should treat your players, and I think that's a great thing. Um, he told them in the dressing room after the final, he said, don't forget to spend lots of time with your family and your loved ones because they're the people that are most proud of you. And I thought that was a nice touch. I thought it showed how much he cared. And on the interviews, Joe Worrell, the captain, oh, sorry, not Joe Worrell, Ryan Yates, a homegrown player who's from Nottingham himself, obviously, he said that the manager gives them calls every now and again, asks them how they're doing, how's their personal life, that kind of thing. And I think that's a nice touch. I think people always respond and work harder for managers who genuinely care about them and their well-being, and I think, and not just about what they do on the pitch. And I think that's how it should be in any organisation, whether it's a football team or a work team. You should feel like one big family because then you're all going to pull together and you're all going to fight for each other. There's not going to be the animosity and the backbiting that you get in so many working environments around the world. It needs to be done. It's hugely important, and it's proved hugely important to Forest achieving a great thing and getting back where they belong after 23 years. They're a big club. They're big enough to be in the Premier League, and I just hope that they can possibly do a Burnley, but with more investment. Stay in the league, be consistent. Um, Actually, no, be better than Burnley because Burnley had a couple of good seasons, but really they would just get by. But I mean, we'll have to see what happens anyway. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Right now, I'll be happy with Forest just staying up, like probably a lot of Forest fans will be. But I think that Steve Cooper is a really good manager. I think he's great with developing players. He turns average players into great players, and that's a sign of a truly world class manager. Um, yeah, there's great managers out there like Klopp and Pep, but they usually inherit really great players to start off with. And Steve Cooper didn't do that. He inherited players that were a little bit low on confidence. A couple of young players who had been passed out on loan. A couple of players that had not been valued much by their previous teams, as in Keenan Davis and Sam Surridge. Brought them in from Bournemouth and from Aston Villa, respectively. And those guys, with their goals, 14 between the two of them, they helped to propel Forest into that position to stay in the playoff area and even to have a chance with a week or so to go of getting automatic promotion. I still think Forest should have won that game against Bournemouth, but in the end, never happened. But they rode their luck a couple of times, especially in the semi-finals against Sheffield United. But ultimately, they deserved their prize. Steve Cooper got it right. Since 8 games into the season, they're the most successful team in the Championship as far as most wins recorded, least defeats, and most clean sheets. And that proves it. That it's a deserved victory, and it'd be great to see them on Match of the Day consistently. It's been a long time coming. Can't believe I was 18 years old when I last saw Forest play against Sheffield Wednesday at home. They won 2-0. It was when Pierre Van Hooijdonk was doing his little rebellious period of not playing for a team and going off. I still think players have way too much power these days. I still think the managers should be on more money than the players. I still think that the managers should have the run of the club from top to bottom, as it used to be with great managers in the past. Players have too much power. There is some respect for great managers from players, but I just feel that there needs to be a cap on wages for players across the board on all levels in the English leagues. I feel that obscene way it should be paid on player performance roles. They should get a basic, but then like a bonus depending on the quality of their play. Much like it would be in most workplaces that involve commission on top of basic wages as well. I think fair's fair. It's got to be done that way. Whether it'll ever come to that, I don't think it will. I think the wages will continue to spiral out of control like they have done. Nobody's worth 300,000 to 500,000 a week. It's disgraceful money for them to be receiving. I know they have short careers. Most of them only go to 35 if they're lucky, and then they've got another 35 years to fill doing other roles, but to make the money come in. But honestly, if you're wise with your money. The top clubs, they should have people advising, and honest people advising the players how to invest their money so that they've got more money after they've finished their careers. There needs to be a lot going on. I just think that on the top levels, everything's done in reckless ways. A lot of things are done in reckless ways. There might be a lot of people that argue with me on this. People, I would like to hear what your opinions are on it, all in the comments section. See what you guys think about it all. But I really feel that the cap on wages should happen. In the Premier League, I think there should be a cap on, probably say like something like 100,000. I think it should not go beyond that. And I think that managers should always be on more money. Well, actually, I would say a cap on 80,000 a week. I'd say, and I'd say that managers should be on more than the top player in the team, because if the top player's on more money than the manager, how can he respect the manager if he's being lazy and he's not doing his job properly, and the manager wants to leave him out? Of course, he's going to kick up a fuss. Of course, things are going to get put in the media. Of course, the manager's not going to have the respect that he deserves. The manager is king, right or wrong. He needs to have that respect, but you cannot have it if your own players are earning more money than you. So, see what happens. I can't see it changing. I would love to see it change. I don't know if many other fans agree with what I'm saying. I hope that they are, because, it should be that way in my opinion anyway. But there we go. I hope that whoever your team that you supported this season, that they did all right. And if they didn't do all right, there's always next season, the hope of next season. It's been great bringing you these episodes. I'm grateful for the people that subscribe to me. And I appreciate your support. Please let all your friends and family know about us, even the ones that aren't into football. Get them to get behind us, because more and more good content's going to come out. I am now going to do, for the next couple of months while the season is out, I'm going to do reviews on past seasons. There'll be another one coming up this week. I'm going to probably do one on a Thursday. I'm going to make sure I do one on a Monday and a Thursday every week now till the start of the new season. And obviously I'll do a build up to the new season, a review. I'm also going to do a review of each individual team in the Premier League, and see who were the most successful ones and who wasn't. I'll probably do that in the Championship as well. It goes without saying, probably the most extraordinary feat this season goes down to the Forest manager, because when he came in, at the start of the season, they played 8 games. They'd lost 7 out of those 8 games. They were bottom of the Championship. He took them from the bottom of the Championship 8 games into the season. 36 games later, he had them finishing 4th in the Championship in the playoffs. Then narrowly getting past Sheffield United on penalties, and then ultimately to beating Huddersfield Town 1-0. So congratulations to him. He deserves to get the manager of the season. I'm not just being biased, just from the fact that where Forest were at the start of the season. When he took over, he created a miracle. Carlos Corberán, the Huddersfield manager, did a great job getting Huddersfield up there. Huddersfield had finished 20th the previous season before, so he deserves a lot of accolades for that. Obviously, former assistant to Marco Bielsa at Leeds. In the first season, Leeds were in the Premier League. So there's been a lot of great managers. There's been a lot of great things. Congratulations to the other teams that got promoted in the Championship, Fulham and Bournemouth. Good luck to them next season. Congratulations to the guys that got promoted in League One. Obviously, the champions were Wigan. Then Rotherham were in second and promoted from the playoffs finally after a number of seasons in League One was Sunderland. So congratulations to all those teams. Good luck to them in the Championship next year. And also good luck to the teams that were promoted in League 2, Forest Green, Exeter, Bristol Rovers and Port Vale. Good luck to them in League 1 next season. Good luck to Stockport County. And also good luck to whoever wins out of Grimsby Town and Solihull Moors at the London Stadium on Sunday. Good luck to those guys fighting to get into League 2. As I said earlier, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. We've seen some great things this season, some ups and downs. Liverpool and Manchester City took it right to the wire on the last day. It even looked at one point like Man City might blow it, but eventually they held out to win and be champions of England for the excuse me, for the fourth time in 5 seasons. Liverpool have got a lot to do to catch up. Will Manchester United challenge again next? Will they have a chance of getting into the Champions League next year? Will Mikel Arteta's Arsenal get closer next year? And will Spurs continue to maintain another Champions League spot next season? It's all up for debate and discussion. We'll have to see how will the new Chelsea owners get on. No one knows. The American new owner, after all those years of quite a lot of dominance, to be honest, in the time that Abramovich was there. We will have to see what turns out and what happens. It's going to be a very interesting season. Season 22-23 season. That'll be great to watch. But for now, I'll say bye. As I said earlier, I sort of did my outtake saying, but thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. Please continue to get behind me and have a great summer. Enjoy your holidays if you're on holidays. If not, just enjoy your time with your family and your friends. All the best. I've been Jamie Carder for Football Heaven 24/7. And have a great time. All the best, boy.